Runnin' with the Devil, a rock and roll adventure. Part 15. Edgar grabbed the pen from his pocket protector, and began looking around, for what I assumed was something to write on. Bob took a seat on the couch. As Edgar looked around, Stephen leaned over to me and asked, whispering, "Did you see that?" "Yeah," I whispered back. "What was that?" he asked. "I don't know, but we're in hell, so," I replied. "Right," he said, nodding his head. After a couple minutes, Edgar found a notepad, then asked, "Okay, what are your names, stage names please, and who plays what, you know, like what instruments?" We all just stood there, staring at him. Apparently, the other three saw it as well. "Oh, the eye-blinking thing, right," he said, chuckling a snorted laugh. "It's a birth defect, that's all. Nothing to worry about. You'll get used to it. It's not like I'm some hellish demon that's gonna try and rip you apart," he said, making a tearing sound with his mouth, and snorted again. We all gave each other a what the fuck look. "Boys, you'll have to excuse Edgar here, he's kind of, well, unique," Bob said from the couch, "but he's harmless. It's cool devil dude. We don't judge," Derek said. Stephen then raised his hand. Stephen Rattler, drummer. Derek Macabre, bass guitar. Ricky Blaze, rhythm guitar. Corey Sims, singer man. Mikey Z, I play guitar. "Nah man," Derek said, "this guy plays lead guitar, he's a fucking beast dude." "Wonderful," Edgar stated, writing it all down on his notepad. "We've got to get a picture for the album cover. I'm thinking a group picture, so, all five of you stand together back to front, shortest to tallest, over by that wall," he said, and pointed behind us. He reached in the top drawer of the file cabinet to his left, and produced a small Polaroid camera, walked behind us, reached up to the ceiling, and pulled down a large green screen from it. "Stand in front of this," he said. We did, and Edgar took the picture, pulled it from the camera, shook it a little, and handed it to Bob. "Wonderful," he said. "We'll add in a picture of some flames, or something equally as cool behind you. Now, we need a band name. What do you call yourselves?" Edgar asked. "Blackened Image," we all answered in unison. "Corny, but, okay," Edgar replied. "Since there are five of you, we are going to break up the recording sessions into 5 different segments. The drums will be recorded first, then the bass, then rhythm guitar, then lead guitar, and finally vocals," Edgar said. Bob then shifted around on the couch, the leather squeaking as he did. "If you are not recording, feel free to wander around, and check this place out. It's really cool down here, actually. It's hot, really hot. Anywho, we have a cafeteria, as well as a gift shop," Bob said. "Really cool. I can get Pops a coffee cup," Ricky said. "Ricky, we're in hell. As in hell, you know." "Hell," I said. "I know, man. My pops will be the first in our neighborhood to have a coffee cup from hell," Ricky said. I just threw my hands up in frustration. Bob then started laughing. "What?" Ricky asked. "Like he said, this is hell, not some plush resort in the Bahamas. We don't have a cafeteria, or a gift shop." "I was fucking with you," Bob said laughing. "That was fucked up, man. You're an asshole," Ricky said disappointed. "I am the devil, after all," Bob said sarcastically. "Alrighty then," Edgar said. "Now, do any of you play the keyboards?" "Keyboards?" Derek asked. "No, we ain't some Bon Jovi bubblegum band. We're a kick-ass rock and roll band." "Well, you are now," Edgar replied, reaching for the large stack of papers on the control board. "Here is the sheet music for all your instruments, drums for you, bass for you, guitars for both of you, I'll take the keyboards, and the lyric sheets for you. Now, there are 15 songs here, that Mr. Bells himself has arranged for you. We are going to record all 15 tracks for all the instruments, mix them together, add the vocals, thus creating the songs, then scale it down to fit the timeline for the album. I think I can play the keyboard parts, I dabble a little. Sound good? Great. Let's get started. Drummer guy, you're first." "No way, man," Derek said in protest. "We wanna write our own songs. This is bullshit." Bob stood up quickly, and began yelling as he walked. Well, not really walked, more like glided. I never saw his feet move. "Anyway, do you want to be rich? Do you want to be famous? Have a big house, and get all the girls?" he yelled. "Yeah, but," Derek replied. "Then shut your mouth, and play the fucking songs," Bob screamed demonically. Right before Bob started yelling, I began looking over the sheet music for each song. Something looked familiar to me. The Legend of Angels Run, Laugh at Me, Forever and a Day. It didn't hit me until I read the 4th song title, Before the Blackest Dark of Dawn. "Wait a minute. Derek, stop," I said loudly. "What?" They both screamed at me in unison. Corey, let me see your lyric sheets, I said. I began reading the words to the first song, then the second, then the third, and so on, until I read them all. I know these titles. I know these songs, these are my songs, I wrote these lyrics, I announced. I want to know how you got my songbooks, and all our gear, I yelled at Bob. Nice try kid, but that's not gonna work on me, but, I will tell you anyway. I have been wanting, no pun intended, to get into the music business for quite some time. You see, I have been keeping a close eye on all of you, even before you made your little deals with my associate, Bob said. I devised a plan, and decided to take a trip up to the human world, about 3 weeks ago, in search of a band, to assist me in executing my plan. Now, I am too sophisticated to walk anywhere, for any long periods of time. I needed a vehicle. So, I planted a brick of cocaine, inside a limousine, that I saw parked on the street, with the driver in it. I made a call, he was arrested, and before that smuck from the towing service could pick it up, I had a friend steal it. That was the guy in the other jail cell, the driver of the limo, right? I asked. Very good young man. I knew you were the smart one, Bob said. I drove around endlessly, for about 2 weeks, human world time that is. I saw people trying to play different instruments and failing miserably, even you, Mr. Hard Sell, he said, pointing at me. I saw you through your bedroom window, trying to play from a book. You must have really wanted to know how to play, since you're a beast now. You were not originally part of the plan, but when I saw you, I figured you would make a nice addition to it. A couple of days went by, and I saw you again. You were wearing that ugly beat-up jacket of yours, with the words, "We sold our souls for rock and roll," written in black marker on the back, going into what you humans call a mall, playing air guitar, as you walked through the parking lot. I liked your jacket, so I sent my associate to meet with you. After you sold your soul, he returned to me, and we drove downtown. I soon discovered that you four were a band, not a very good one, but still a band. When I heard you playing in some old warehouse downtown, and peered through a window, I knew I could use you as my stepping stone into the music industry. Now, to be completely honest, which is something I rarely ever do, but am doing now, let me tell you, that you were not supposed to die that day, that crash was not supposed to happen, that was not part of the plan. That was a most unfortunate accident. My associate was just supposed to stop you and offer you that deal. When you finally returned to the human world, and crawled out of your graves, I knew I had to keep an eye on all of you. So I watched you, from a distance. I saw you, pointing at me, throwing all your stuff in the river. I saw you, pointing at Ricky, hanging that banner outside your daddy's store. I saw, the both of you, pointing at Derek and Corey, buying weed from some street corner drug dealer. I saw you, pointing at Steven, breaking into your daddy's warehouse. I saw it all. I knew I had to get you all in one place, in the human world, for my plan to work. So, you can imagine my delight, when I saw the two of you, pointing at Ricky and I, meet up at that music store, start hanging out, and eventually arrive at that wonderful house you three, pointing at Steven, Derek, and Corey, are staying at. I had nothing to do with that storm, but when I heard that cacophony of noise, that you call a jam session going on, I knew I had picked the right band. I knew I had to gain some leverage to use against you, so that you would voluntarily come with me. I knew there were drugs and alcohol in the house. I knew you were all underage, and that you would all be arrested, if the cops found out. Who do you think called in the noise complaint? Once you were arrested, and taken away, I knew you would need your gear, as you call it, in order for my plan to remain on course. So, I walked up to the house, and prepared to break in. That's when I tried the doorknob, and it was unlocked. You should always lock your doors, boys. You never know, someone like me could be lurking around, Bob said sarcastically, pointing at himself, and laughing. He stopped laughing, and continued. I walked in, saw all of your gear, and the books on the floor, snapped my fingers, and sent it all here. I also found an empty plastic bag, and one full of what you humans call cassette tapes. I listened to some of them. It was horrible. I just snapped my fingers and made them disappear. My tape collection. I spent years collecting them. What the fuck? I yelled at Bob. What does it matter, dear boy? You can get them all again later, if you want to, that is, Bob replied, winking at me. Now, where was I? Oh yes, I remember. I could have just snapped my fingers and sent you all here as well, which would have been easier. But I wanted to put on a show. I'm dramatic that way. After you were arrested, and taken to jail, I equipped the limo with all the incentives, put on a non-threatening stupid outfit, and walked into the police station, and the rest is history. If the driver was in the jail cell, and you were in the back with us, then who drove the limo? Ricky asked. Okay, maybe you are really that brain dead, Bob said. Does the Lone Ranger go anywhere without Tonto? Does Scooby-Doo do anything without Shaggy? The old man. Your associate, I said. Damn, you're good, Bob said. By the way, I read all of your songs. They were pretty good. Some of them sucked, but for the most part pretty good. I arranged the music to save you the trouble from having to struggle through it, since none of you have ever wrote music before. Yes, I know that too, and to help speed my plan along. So, technically, one of you did write the songs, just not the music, Bob said. Derek scoffed. Fine. What plan? Corey asked. You'll find out, in all due time. But for now, I must leave you, in the capable hands of Edgar here. I have to go torture someone. I bid you all adieu, Bob said, then left. Well, that was fun, Edgar said. Now, let's get started. Drummer guy, you're up. My name's Steven, dude, Steven said harshly. Edgar smiled. Steven, you're up. Don't we need to practice the songs first? Ricky asked. You can if you want to, but it's really not necessary. If you can actually read sheet music, you should be able to read along with it, and play it accordingly. If you mess up, we can record it from where you left off, and I can piece it all together. Haven't you ever been in a studio before? Edgar asked. No, we all responded in unison. The only one that has to actually learn anything is the lead guitarist. That would be you, right? He said, pointing at me. Yeah, I replied. You actually have to learn the whole entire piece, because it will have to be recorded all at once, he said. You'll have plenty of time to practice and learn the songs, before the tour starts. I sat down on the couch. Ricky sat next to me. I looked through each page, memorizing the solos. Photographic memory, remember? I began to get tired. I softly mumbled to myself, I want to stay awake. I felt a cold chill go down my spine, and suddenly I was at full attention. What? Ricky asked. You're mumbling to yourself, man. Are you alright, dude? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to psych myself up, I replied. Corey and Derek were standing by the control board, watching Edgar turn knobs and press buttons, as Steven went behind the drum kit, placed the papers on a small pedestal table to his right, put on the headset, grabbed his drumsticks, tapped them together, and did a warm-up solo, for a few seconds. Ready, he said. Edgar hit the record button, I assume, on the control board. The tape on the reel-to-reel machine started moving, and a recording sign lit up red, over the entrance door to the recording room. Tape rolling, song 1, take 1, Edgar said into his microphone, and gave the go signal to Steven. Surprisingly, he played the whole song in one take. That's a keeper, Edgar said. This continued on until Steven finished all 15 songs. Edgar rewound the tape on the reel-to-reel machine, took it off the reel, put it in its case, labeled it, and put it on the control board. Then it was Derek's turn, and he did the same. So did Ricky. All in one take. Edgar did the same thing with those tapes. Now, mind you, that they were catchy poppy rhythmic bubblegum crap, that repeated the same patterns, with a few change-ups, add-ins, and transitions thrown in. With the drums, the bass, and the rhythm guitar all recorded, Edgar said, we will have to wait until, he looked at his notepad. Mikey here learns the solos, to continue recording. I'm ready now, but can you tell me what solo you want me to play? You know, the title of the song, I said. Everyone just stared at me, even Edgar. You are a fucking beast, dude, Derek yelled. Yeah, okay, let's do it, Edgar replied, shrugging his shoulders. I got up, left my papers on the couch, and walked into the recording room, put on the headset, took off my glasses, put them on top of an amp, picked up my guitar, grabbed a pick, and stood there. Edgar announced the first song, and gave me the go signal. I played that solo perfectly, as well as the other 14 solos. I walked back into the studio. Edgar stood up, clapped his hands, and said, I've never seen anyone do that before. You are a fucking beast. Edgar did the same with my tape. Anyway, Corey recorded his vocals, all in one take as well, adding a few words, and removing some to keep up with the timing of the song. Edgar added his tape to the stack as well. I never actually heard any of my songs sung before, except for me singing them in the shower, and that don't count. I was totally excited. Anyway, Edgar showed Derek and Corey what button to press to start recording, what button to press to end it, and what to say at the beginning of them, song whatever, take whatever, so he could record the keyboard parts. We all stood there, looking through the window as he did. He messed up during recording a few times. It took several takes, but he finally made it through all 15 songs. I think he was happier than I was. Anyway, he walked into the studio. "That's a wrap," he said, smiling, taking his tape off the reel. "You're all free to go. I'll mix all the songs together and present them to Mr. Bells for approval. We will take care of the rest. Your first album should be out in about a week, human time." "A week? That's it," Steven said. "Yup, it won't be long now. Just go out this door, take the first elevator on your left, I think, the one with the up arrow, and you will be back in your world in no time. It was nice to meet you guys. Bye," he said, high-fiving us all. "Later dude, see you later, thanks a lot man, peace dude, bye Edgar," we all said as we walked out of the door, and headed to the elevator, which seemed a lot further away than it was when we first passed it. Anyway, we were about to finally reach the elevator, when I realized I left my glasses on the amplifier. How I didn't realize it until then is beyond me. Anyway, I ran back to the studio, and slowly pushed open the door, to hear what sounded like Corey's vocals tape being played backwards, and what sounded like Edgar speaking, but it was too low for me to hear what he was saying. I pushed the door open a little further, to see Edgar, but he wasn't the Edgar that I knew. Sitting in front of a portable reel-to-reel machine, with his back to me, speaking into a microphone, was this huge muscle-bound colossal of a creature, wearing Edgar's clothes. Well, not really wearing them, as they were torn, shredded, and hanging off of its body. The creature formerly known as Edgar, was still speaking in Edgar's voice. How that is even possible is beyond me, but it was. It had reddish-white transparent skin. I could see all of its muscles and inner organs through it. Its back had large white pointy spikes protruding from its spine. The back of its head showed that it still had Edgar's hair, but also had white spiked horns protruding from either side of it. I could now hear clearly what Edgar, the creature, was saying. "Come, give yourself freely, to the Prince of Darkness, for he is your new Lord and Savior. Fall to your knees, and relinquish your soul. Destroy all that is good. Deny all that is righteous. Give praise to the one true Master, the Almighty, all-powerful Satan." Now, I had heard of backmasking before, in an interview done by one of those PMRC people. You know who they were, right? In case you don't, they were a bunch of, as Blackie Lawless, lead singer of the heavy metal band Wasp, said on their Live in the Raw album, a bunch of Washington wives, who had nothing better to do than to take aim at hard rock and heavy metal music, for its sexual, suggestive, and sometimes violent lyrics. I guess they never listened to any Conway Twitty songs, you know, that old country singer. That man was downright nasty. If you want to hear what I'm talking about, just listen to a few of them. Anyway, the PMRC also claimed that there were hidden satanic messages that could be heard if a tape or record was played backwards, which is what they called backmasking. They are the ones that are responsible for all the warning labels that you find on CDs nowadays. I always thought it was bullshit. But at that very moment, I knew. I was wrong. "What the fuck?" I yelled. As I did so, the creature turned around, and I could finally see its face. It had big dark black eyes, that blinked sideways, sharp pointy ears, similar to Mr. Spock's, 2 little holes where the nose should be, a mouth that stretched from ear to ear, and what looked to be an inverted cross carved into the middle of its forehead. But the weirdest, most fucked up part, about the whole thing, as if that wasn't weird enough, is that, the creature, was wearing Edgar's glasses. It let out a high-pitched demonic growl, showing a mouthful of black rotten decaying broken human teeth. Its breath smelled like burnt flesh, rotten potatoes, and foot sweat. I could smell it from where I stood. It swung its massive arm out, as if to try and grab me, then swiftly jumped at me, from its sitting position. I screamed in fear, as I quickly turned around, and slammed the door behind me. Fuck those glasses, I'll want a new pair, I thought, as I started running down the hallway screaming. I heard the cracking sound of wood breaking, and the loud thumping sound of the creature's feet. I turned my head, as I ran, to see this thing chasing after me. Lucky for me, this thing was incredibly slow. "Hit the button, get inside, hurry," I screamed to the guys, as I ran as fast as I could to the elevator. The elevator bell dinged, the door opened, the 4 of them ran inside screaming, after obviously seeing the creature behind me. I was still a good distance away. "Mikey, hurry up, Ron, come on," they screamed, waving their arms for me to hurry up. The elevator door began to shut, just as I reached it. I barely squeezed through the doors, as I got in, and fell to the floor, scrambling to get to my feet. Just before the door closed completely, one of the creature's arms came through the opening, mere inches away from us. The door closed, cutting off the arm, as it fell to the elevator floor, floundering around, like a fish out of water, and oozing a dark green blood-like substance.